new impressions from camp?
No, I think everybody's doing a good job. We had probably our best day offensively today. Guys are starting to pick things up and figure out what we're looking for, and so it's all the new people have played well. So we've been very pleased with all those guys.
You've been asked a lot about the defense. Has there been a special emphasis placed on that?
Oh, that's what we've been talking about the whole time. The way we try to play, though, sometimes it's hard to, in scrimmages, to zero in on that because we're going up and down, we're moving the ball, and we get, like I said yesterday, we get into situations that we concentrate on. Guys are picking it up, so it's something we just have to continue to do because we don't have Yao out there. We're still the same team. We're not very big, so we have to play better than we did last year.
Chase got into the scrimmage today?
Chase actually did scrimmage a little bit early, and Kyle was back today too, so it was good to have those two guys back. Chase didn't do much, but he did have to get on the court, get a feel for it, so those guys will catch up quick.
Was today more of leaning towards the drills and less scrimmaging, or is it the same as usual?
We're trying to do it a little bit different. I think it was the same, but we're scrimmaging differently. We're not scrimmaging with 2 teams, we're doing it with 3. And so we're rotating teams in quicker so everybody goes against each other, and it's a little bit more instructional that way than just letting them go. The last scrimmage is pretty much, we had 2 teams and we just played.
Yeah, somebody kicked butt up there apparently.
Yeah. One team shot the ball really well. They all shot it well.
Do you feel, have we gotten to that stage? Usually you get to a stage in camp where guys have to fight through some time, especially mental fatigue. Are we hitting that? Yeah,
this camp, it seems like once you get past the 2 hours, the guys kind of hit a wall. Today might have been the first day they didn't do that. They stayed with it. But the last 3 days, it seems like once we get past 1:30, it's just like they lose their mental of what they should be doing, and today was a much better as far as staying with it. Maybe we're kind of mixing it up a little bit and trying to keep them fresher.
Having gone through the officials meeting yesterday, what do you think of the way they are going to call technical fouls this year? You can't get one now. I'm pretty sure they're not.
It is what it is, and guys are going to. Be demonstrative. They're going to nail him for it. But I don't know if it's somebody thinks that's something that needs to be done. But my experience is players and coaches adjust to how it's going. They'll adjust. As long as they call it on everybody.
Were there any other rule changes? They announced where you guys need to work on something different?
No, it's pretty much the same stuff. Yeah.
You mentioned as long as they call it on everybody. Do you feel like being demonstrative, some guys can be more so than others?
I definitely feel that's true, but it's hard. It's going to be really hard because you don't know. It's always, when you're dealing with human beings, it's one guy's going to have a quicker, trigger than somebody else, or a young guy may think, boy, I got to do this, and that's what you got to get. That's what you got to come down to. You got to figure out, well, how is this going to go? And I think the players eventually will figure it out. But it changes with each guy. Who's showing off who, and some, maybe the officials are all going to be more consistent in what they're going to call. But they showed us examples of what they will allow and not allow, and the players are going to have to adjust to that.
Were any of your guys in the video?
I don't know if they were in that video. No, I don't believe so. But
they were in others?
There were some of them in others, making a foul or doing something like that. But it's one of those things. It's somebody thinks it's a real need to be done, and like I said, I think generally people adjust to it as they go. It's just you don't know really what they mean. So I guess you'll see it when they get on the court. And we probably had about 4 technicals a day.
Were they called? You have officials?
One was called, yeah. But, I guess where guys are going to have to figure it out because it's still going to be expensive.
Was it a tee that was always a tee and always will be, or was it the new rule kind of tee?
No, somebody kind of made fun It's just, you know, it's like Shane had a classic because they said you can't punch, you can't have an air punch.
Right,
So
the Kobe rule.
Shane gave karate air punch and said he thought he was okay because it wasn't a close fist.
So they teed him.
It was kind of funny, yeah.
Talking to some of the players, they seem to point out that Courtney Lee's been one of the guys who stood out to them. I'm not sure how familiar you were with his game before you got here, but has he surprised you a little bit with what he's done?
We really liked him in the draft when he came out of the draft. We watched films with him. He was but he's a really, he played so well for Orlando that year. They went to the finals. And watching him here, though, he's very, very consistent player, and that's going to be one of the biggest things I'm going to have to try to figure out. I don't know how to get minutes for everybody, or it's something the guys. But he's definitely a guy who's a very good player. Who's really solid. So yeah, I think he's probably better than I thought he was. But I always thought he was a good player. But he's been very good here.
He said he feels like he's got more freedom offensively than he's ever had before in his career. Do you feel like, is that more a product of your offense and the freedom that comes with guys, or just like your confidence in what he can do?
No, I think our offense, that's what it's all about, is giving freedom to guys and for them to make decisions and see what their strengths are. If a guy is trying to do things he can't do, then we'll talk to him about it. But generally, you try to find out what players can do. And I think, Courtney, you got to put him in positions to go ahead and attack. So I think that's what our system has always been about, giving guys freedom. And he's a good player. And, as long as they're making good decisions, that's fine.
Coach, with a big unknown like Yao, how hard for you to set up the clear way to play, clear rotation?
Yeah, it's going to be hard with the out, but I think I think it's really going to be the decision will be how well is he playing, how can he help the team, and maybe it's not that he can't help the team, it's just. Is he ready? Is he ready to play? Is he ready to make it? And that's going to be hard for him too, because I just want to see him. I want to see him just get out on the court and just consistently get out on the court. And so far he's done okay. He just has to. The game's going maybe fast for him right now. Because he's just trying to catch up. So you got to give that time. And once you get through exhibition, then you'll know where he's at that point.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Coach.
Thanks.